Previously on the Blossom story, Blossom Santoro, the daughter of cartel lord Marco Santoro, was kidnapped under mysterious circumstances. But her abduction was no accident. Her father orchestrated it to sever her forbidden love with Luca Serrano, the son of his greatest rival. His plan took an unexpected turn when the plane meant to take her far away never reached its destination. Instead, she was found unconscious in a remote Peruvian village, with no memory of who she was. The villagers took her in, calling her Flor, unaware of the dangerous world she came from. But someone outside the village knows the truth, and they've been watching her. A shadowed figure left behind a silver locket, an object that stirs emotions inside her. And then came the warning, you shouldn't be here. Now as Blossom struggles to make sense of her fragmented reality, the past inches closer. The Blossom Story, Season 1. Born into power, trapped by loyalty, chosen by circumstance. Will she break free before it's too late? Tune in to Season 1, Episode 3, Echoes of the Past. The Santoro estate is silent except for the sound of Marco's slow, deliberate footsteps against the marble floor. He stands in his office, his fingers gripping the edge of his desk. Before him kneels one of his men, Eduardo, his face bruised, blood dripping from his lip. You had one job, Marco says, his voice eerily calm. Take my daughter out of the country. Keep her away from Luca. Make sure she never comes back. Eduardo swallows hard. We did, sir, but something went wrong. The pilot, he never made contact after the crash. The wreckage was found, but no bodies. Marco slowly exhales, tightening his jaw. So you're telling me my daughter is still out there? Eduardo nods, fear clear in his eyes. Marco leans in, voice like ice. Then you'd better find her, before someone else does. Blossom's growing unease. The villagers are kind, but she feels like an outsider. She asks how she was found, but the answers are always vague. She begins noticing small things. A worn passport in Tupac's hut, a brief exchange of worried glances when she brings up the locket. The sense that the villagers are keeping something from her. The figure watching her returns. This time she catches a clearer glimpse. A man, not old but not young either. Dressed like a traveler, he keeps his distance. She follows him. One evening she tracks his movements into the jungle. Her heart races as she moves quickly, weaving between trees. But just as she gets close, he's gone. That same night, the locket reappears. This time it's placed directly outside her hut. Subplots in San Martino. Marco tightens his grip on the city. His men are scouring every lead, searching for traces of Blossom's whereabouts. His patience is running thin. Luca refuses to believe Blossom is gone. He tracks down one of the pilots from her flight, hoping for answers. The man hesitates before finally muttering, "It wasn't an accident." Luca's blood runs cold. "What do you mean?" The pilot never gets the chance to explain. A single shot rings out and he drops dead. Luca barely dodges the next bullet before diving for cover. He pulls out his gun, but his attacker is already gone. Luca clenches his fists. Someone doesn't want him to know the truth. Emotional beats. Blossom's frustration builds. She wants answers, but every time she asks, the villagers shut down the conversation. Tupac struggles with guilt. He knows more than he's told her, but he believes keeping her safe is more important than telling her the truth. Luca is beginning to realize that Blossom's disappearance was no accident. Someone wanted her gone, but who else is involved? Blossom sits outside her hut, turning the locket over in her hands. It feels important, familiar, but why? She glances at Tupac's hut, the passport. Her mind races. She has to know. Quietly, she slips inside. The hut smells of earth and smoke, the flickering candlelight casting long shadows. She kneels by the wooden chest where she saw the passport earlier. Her hands tremble as she lifts the lid. There it is, a passport. She slowly opens it, heart pounding. Her face stares back at her. But the name printed beneath it isn't Flor. It's Blossom Santoro. Her breath catches. She doesn't recognize the name, but she knows it belongs to her. A sudden noise behind her makes her freeze. She turns sharply. Tupac is standing in the doorway. His face is solemn. You weren't supposed to find that, he says. Blossom finally has a piece of the puzzle. But Tupac has been hiding something from her. Why? And more importantly, who else knows the truth? In San Martino, Marco makes a deadly decision. And Luca? He's about to uncover something that will change everything. But back in the village, danger inches closer. Because Blossom isn't as hidden as she thinks. And someone is coming for her. Tune in to Season 1, Episode 4, The Weight of Truth.